So when I invest in the confidence that's in me, whatever I put on me is going to go beyond me because it's going to overflow from my heart or my soul into everybody that I interact with. If you're okay with leaving the house without your confidence, you'll never really have it. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Practice, where we fuse research and culture to help you develop the mindsets, the habits, and skills that you need in order to live out your purpose with confidence. I'm your coach, Dr. Reese, and it's time for us to get better, y'all. Let's grow. I'm so excited for the thought process that we're going to dive in today, and that is confidence is not on you, it's in you. Why? Because you are the bag. You already know that's where I was going with it. But it is really, really important for you to know that doesn't matter what you put on, it doesn't matter what you drive, it doesn't matter what kind of house you live in, don't matter what kind of purse you rock. Confidence is not on you, it is in you, which is why we focus on helping you develop the mindset that you need to have, the habits that you need to develop, the skills that you need to execute in order to make sure you're investing in yourself so that way you can grow what? Your bag, so you can do what? Get to the bag, okay? So today we are talking about all things. How do I develop the confidence within me so that way I don't feel insecure to where I feel like I need to focus on the confidence outside of me, okay? Now, here's the thought process. When I say confidence is not on you, it's in you, I'm not saying that you shouldn't focus on the things that are on you. Because I 100%, you know what I'm saying? I love to get dressed up. I love to do my thing. I like to wear nice clothes. I like to participate in luxury like things. But you can't do that as a replacement of developing and investing in the confidence that's supposed to start within you. And a lot of people, I feel like, put more emphasis on investing on looking confident than actually being confident. I'll say that again. A lot of people focus on putting a lot of their time, energy, efforts on looking confident more so than being confident, right? They want to look like they're secure. They want to look like they're rich. They want to look like they're healthy. They want to look like all of those things, but they're not actually that because it's inside of them. Now, when I say that you are the bag, I believe that everybody is the bag, but it doesn't mean that everybody is actually being the expansive, high quality, expensive, luxury like bag that they have the ability to be. Because where does that start? Inside of you. The investment grows from within. So let's think about this. I firmly believe, and to know me is to know that this is my belief, is that a lack of confidence is the primary reason why people do not execute the vision on their life. A lack of confidence is the primary reason why people do not execute the vision that is on their life and in their heart. Like, I believe, again, everybody was born on purpose with a purpose to live out their purpose. And not everybody lives out their purpose because they lack the confidence to do so. But if we go further back than that, what we're going to be diving into for the next 15 weeks and maybe even further is the case of insecurity. Now, when I say the case of insecurity, I really want to dissect how being insecure is ruining your life. Like, how the root of insecurity is spilling out and overflowing into other areas of your life, and it's controlling our thought process, our decision making, our lack of decision making, our procrastination, our analysis paralysis, our environments that we're dwelling in physically, mentally, emotionally, like all of that. I firmly believe that insecurity is the root of all evil. Yeah, I believe insecurity is the root of all evil because when you think of all the things that people do out of insecurity, whether that may be attached to ego or pride or narcissism or any toxic something, and the trauma that is created from that, the unhealthy decisions that's created from that, the destructively selfish decisions that come from that. Like, I firmly believe that a lack of security, a lack of confidence, having low self-esteem, and ultimately moving and living your life in insecurity is the root of all evil, period. So my mission is to help you get free, is to uproot that insecurity and help you start to invest and plant some seeds into being your most secure, confident self. So let's get after it. Now, I believe that people are going about their confidence development backwards. And when I say I believe people are going about their confidence development backwards, I mean we focus more so on the outer layer than we do what's going on the inside. Where, like I said a second ago, it's easy to put it on. You know what I'm saying? I could put on the Louis. I could put on Nike. I could put on all these other brands. I could ride the nice luxury car. I could do all like those. That's easy. The easiest thing to do is to spend some money to drop a bag. The easiest thing to do is to drop a bag, whether you actually have it or you're just running up credit and debt to do it. Like it's easy to gain consumer wealth to look like you're being confident. That's a thought. Consumer debt is attached to, I would also say, a lack of confidence and security. 100%. A lack of self esteem. And to know me is to please know my heart. I get it. I've been there. I struggle with it. I deal with it. I'm not coming at this or trying to say this in a way that is like I'm pointing the finger at other folks. This is real life stuff that I got to deal with on a daily basis, which is why I'm so passionate about it, because I know how insecurity drives consumer debt and how that just keeps us in a cycle of perpetuating the same exact things, and it has a negative impact on our brain. And I point to the back of my brain because it puts us in survival mode and it makes us feel like we have to fight, flight, faint, or fawn or spin. You know what I'm saying? Like that is it. How do I know? Because I've been there, because I've done that and I get it. And I want us to get free from living in that cycle. And so when I say people are going about their confidence development backwards, what I mean is we think we have to look the part. We think we have to fake it until we make it. But if you've heard me in any point in time, you know that I believe faking it until you make it is the wrong way to go about it. I believe we need to be it, and we need to see it, and we need to do it. Right? I think we need to see it. And when I say see it, I think we need to write it down and make it plain. I think we need to say exactly what are the areas that I want to grow my confidence? Who is it that I want to be? And get that down. The next piece is when I say be it, that means activate it. Just be the thing it is that you feel like you want to be. It sounds that simple because it really is. And later on in the episode, we're going to talk about why that's important and getting into that. But it really is like, don't fake it until you make it. Because if you fake it the whole way, all you did was get reps in being fake. That's it. You just faked the thing. You never believed that you were the thing when you can actually believe that you are the thing. Why? Because it is in you and not on you. Confidence should start from within you and not come from what's on you. Because when you transform what's in you, it transforms what's on you, which is why the fashion industry, the art industry, anything in a creative space is subjective. It's subjective because you might throw something on and be like, oh, wow, like, I like this. And somebody else might look at it and be like, that is the ugliest thing. Or somebody else would be like, oh, that's fire. Because it's all subjective. And so when I say it's subjective, you have to have conviction and security with what it is that you're putting on. And when you have conviction and security with what it is that you're putting on, you're not looking for approval from somebody else to say, yep, that's it, you got it. When you invest in your confidence from the inside out, it don't matter what you put on. You like, I'm them, her, him, them. That's me. Regardless of what you have on, you understand that the physical things that you put on your body don't give you more worth and value, because you understand that your worth and value is inherent. Why? Because you are the bag, and you literally mentally believe that. So anything you put on top of you is just an added bonus. It's just an added flair. It's just a physical representation of your style. It's a physical representation of the confidence that's going on within you. It's not a replacement. What you put on isn't a replacement, it's a representation. Where for some folks, it becomes a replacement. I have to put on the nicest clothes. I have to put on this. I have to do this. They put so much emphasis on the physical that they miss the internal, they miss the intrapersonal. And that breaks my heart, especially because I work with a lot of youth and young adults and who come from low socioeconomic backgrounds, and they're, and especially folks who are serving time in multiple ways. It all comes back to, I wanted to have the thing. I was tired of not looking the part. I hated the fact that I didn't have, and you fill in the blank. It all goes back to some type of materialistic thing. Because why? Our society says you have to have this. And so we prioritize the this. We prioritize the material. We prioritize the like you gotta look the part. We prioritize the physical bag, which prevents people or leads people away from investing in themselves because they're investing so much more in everything else. And then that leads us to making destructive decisions. So, yeah, my heart for you is that you can start to prioritize your heart posture over your appearance. My heart and desire for you as your confidence coach is that you can start to prioritize your heart posture over your appearance. And you can start to prioritize investing in yourself interpersonally over how you look interpersonally. That you start to prioritize how your heart feels. You start to prioritize the development of your self-awareness so that way your self-esteem and your self-like and your self-love can grow and develop in a way that adds value to your holistic appearance, not just your physical appearance. Because I don't care what kind of clothes you have on. If you still have a negative heart, if you still move in toxicity, if you still move in greed and anger and confusion, it don't matter how clean your clothes is if your heart is dirty. Again, it don't matter how clean your clothes is if your heart is dirty. So now, there's a coach at Duke, the Duke women's basketball coach. So let me take this backwards a little bit. Our confidence clue for today comes from Kara Lawson. She is Duke women's basketball head coach. I've had the opportunity of actually listening to her speak in person, coach in person. I went to one of her coaching camps a couple years ago, and I've always been a fan of her astuteness, her professionalism, her focus, her discipline. Like, you can just look at her and how she moves and how she does life, and she's just somebody I'm inspired by. Like, next to Dawn Staley, she's one of the only few, black woman head coaches, but the way that she moves is just with such precision, and I aspire to move with precision like she does. But she dropped a video a couple weeks ago, and she's always dropping gems because she's just that person. And she said to these folks, so she was speaking to a crowd, and she made the analogy that we would never leave the house butt naked. Now, everybody's like obviously laughing because you're like, yeah, I would never leave the house butt naked. And she was like, well, we'd never leave the house naked because, one, obviously you would get arrested. And in that thought, you're like, yeah, I would never leave the house without any clothes on. And what's funny is sometimes I'll walk out the house and be like, do I got on shorts? Do I got on pants? You be in the house, especially during COVID. That joint threw me for a loop. But she was like, you would never leave the house without clothes on. And then she even went further to say, like, there's times you would never leave the house without making sure you had your lunch. If you forgot your lunch, you go back and get that joint, right? If you forgot your phone, you would go, like, there's certain things that you don't leave the house with, but we always leave the house without our confidence. When she said that, I said, oh, Kara, they're not ready. Kara, they're not ready. Because if you're willing to leave the house without your confidence, to me, that means you never invested in it. And I was so excited when she dropped this because, again, she's somebody that I admire and aspire to embody her level of precision and astuteness and professionalism and discipline. And so when I heard her speaking about confidence in this way, it made me so excited because we need people to never leave the house without their confidence. She said, how many of us use our designer clothes to mask, right? Like, we feel like because you have on the nicest Louis, and she said, I would much rather be butt naked with confidence. Much rather be butt naked with confidence than have on designer clothes with no confidence. And we're going to boil that down, because I 100% would much rather be butt naked with a heart full of confidence than fully clothed in the nicest clothes with a heart of insecurity. And when you think about that, I want you to stop and pause and think like, man, how many times have I left the house butt naked on the inside? On the inside, of course. How many times have you left the house with your heart bare, with your soul bare, with your internal process, with your minds and your emotions bare? When I say bare, I mean they haven't been invested in. You didn't cloak them in confidence. How many times have you left the house without cloaking your interpersonal self in confidence? But you left the house fully clothed, but inside you're insecure. But inside you're lacking. Inside you have low self-esteem. Inside you're struggling with so many different things. And that to me is what breaks my heart, is that every single day there's a whole lot of people that wake up and put on, again, they put that joint on. You know what I'm saying? Look good, feel good, play good, baby, what's good? I get it. But a lot of people, again, are putting emphasis on that look good, and they're hoping that that look good will fuel them to feel good. And the unfortunate piece about that thought process is you're working backwards. You can't look good to then feel good. Now, could somebody make an argument? Absolutely. You go and get dressed up, you put it on, you, okay, cool. But that's not sustainable. I can't go put on, you know what I'm saying? I do got a fresh cut though. Your girl's feeling herself, right? Like, yes, it adds to it. But there's not amount of fresh cuts and fresh button-ups and loafer shoes, and there's not enough in the world that'll save my soul. There's not enough. It's not enough. Few solid cats running around, but there's not enough. That's what Kendrick said. It's not enough. There's not enough of anything physically that you could put on that'll change what's in. And that's the thought process that I need us to get to, is confidence is not on us. Confidence is in us. And so my challenge to you is, what are you going to do to invest in you so that way that confidence can appear like it's on you? Because when you invest in the confidence that's in you, it can't help but be on you regardless of what you have on. And when that confidence is on you, it goes beyond you. When you invest in the confidence that's in you, the confidence that's on you goes beyond you. Why? Because confidence permeates. The energy that we have, the energy that we focus on developing in our heart and our mind and our soul, holistically in us, our energy is going to permeate through us. So when I invest in the confidence that's in me, whatever I put on me is going to go beyond me, because it's going to overflow from my heart or my soul into everybody that I interact with. They have constructive impact on everybody you encounter. Now, again, you're not for everybody, but sometimes the encounter that you have with somebody else, and they may feel it as a source of hate, or they're just not rocking with you. That just is what it is. But more times than not, the cats that you encounter, because confidence isn't just feeling good about you. It's having the ability to see the good in other people. Confidence is also about, when you have it, you're more kind. When I'm more secure, it helps me be more kind. Period. Why? Because I can't treat you better than I think about you. And if I think about me in a certain light, it's going to enable me to also think about others in that same light. Now, I could just be like, you know what? I'm not for everybody. Everybody's not for me. But it doesn't come from a place of jealousy. It doesn't come from a place of hate. It just comes from, we don't rock and vibe. Why? Because we're not for everybody. But I know that it doesn't come from a toxic position in my heart. And that's why it's so important for us to be able to invest in our security. Invest in your security. Don't live out of insecurity. Invest in your security. Don't live out of insecurity. Because The same happens in backwards. When we live out of insecurity, that permeates through us as well. The same way that if I invest in my confidence, it's going to permeate through me. Insecurity is going to permeate through me. And it ain't going to matter what I have on. It ain't going to matter what I do, because that insecurity is going to drive and shift and dictate my actions, my thought process, how I see other people. Because again, if I see myself through that deficit lens, it's going to impact how I see other people. So here's what I want us to think about, right? Is if you want to be somebody who never leaves the house without your confidence, here are the mindsets, here are the habits, and here's the skills that I need you to develop. Again, if you want to be somebody who never leaves the house without your confidence, right? That you can put that thing on because you know it's in you. And when it's in you, it transforms to on you. And when it's on you, it goes beyond you. So here's the mindset that I need you to develop. The first one is this: confidence is not on me, it's in me. Believe it. You have to believe this. And remember, a mindset is something that is a perspective. It's the way that we see the world. So when you firmly believe, like, no, it don't matter what I have on. I'm it. I holistically am the thing. So I could put on whatever and be secure and feel safe in my body and feel like I make this outfit. This outfit don't make me. And that brings me back to the fashion piece. That brings me back to also really just anything, being secure in any way in your life. It doesn't matter what it is. When you're secure, you don't need 4, 5. So you're not doing it for the approval of everybody around you. So again, if you're shifting your focus and your perspective to say, confidence is not on me. I'm now no longer going to prioritize the investment of my time, energy, and money on physical things to blanket my lack of security. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to only post highlights and look at highlight and go highlight for highlight comparison on social media so that way I can appear as if my life is better, I'm more secure, I'm happier, or whatever the case may be, is because that's not in, that's on. So my challenge to you is to think, how often are you prioritizing the on versus in? As an entrepreneur, what just popped in my mind, it was like, okay, how often am I working on my business versus in my business? Like this, the relationship between on and in is something that is a continual working piece that I think needs to be studied a little bit more and talked about a little bit more, because it is something I know that exists in entrepreneurship, but not everybody's an entrepreneur. So maybe you've never really had that thought process before, being able to break down the on versus in. I didn't even think about this. Now, being on your fitness journey is something that people were just always on, right? And I think it should shift to more so being as healthy as possible for as long as possible. I think that is a priority that makes more sense. And when you think about it, a lot of people spend more time working on their body versus focus on what's going on in their body. It's easy to hit the gym. It's actually hard to hit the gym, but it's easy to focus all your energy on your outward appearance of your physique, of the look, of the body fat, it's easy. But if you're fit externally, but fat internally, what does it matter? You know what I mean when I say that, right? Like if you are your outward appearance looks a certain way, but you never go to therapy, you never do any type of talking, even just to a friend, you never get any coaching or counseling from just humans, right? You never gain self-awareness from an external space, right? You never do anything to be able to grow personally and professionally from an internal pocket, an intrapersonal relationship with yourself, but you're only working on the physical piece, then you're putting all of the onus and respect and strength of your confidence on the outside, the outward appearance, on the on, right? Like it's on versus in. So if we can create the mindset that confidence is not on me, it's in me. That's the mindset. The habit that I want us to look at is this. I want you to think of confidence dosing. Now, confidence is something that has to be repped. If you don't get reps in something, you're not going to be confident in that thing. And a lot of people are more confident, or a lot of people probably feel more confident based off of the clothes and stuff that they put on, in materialistic avenues of their life, in the physical appearance of their self, because they have more reps in that. The problem with that is faux confidence. It's not real confidence. It doesn't have a solid foundation. So if your whole life you built your self-esteem on sand, you built your self-esteem on foam, you built your self-esteem on pillows, you built it on something that isn't solid rock, which is materialistic things, what happens when that's challenged? Your ego is like, oh shoot, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, so now you're fighting for your identity because you've placed your identity and your worth on materialistic things. And so you've got the reps in the wrong direction. So now what we need to do is create a mindset shift and get the reps back in the right direction. So it's an unlearning that needs to happen, but also a redoing, an unlearning and a relearning in the opposite way. So we have to start doing some daily confidence dosing. And it's one task, one thing, 5 minutes. I won't know what that thing needs to be for you until, we sat down and we had a conversation. We can identify, but the next information I'm going to give you will help you get to that part. But I need you to spend 5 minutes a day investing in your confidence. I need you to spend 5 minutes a day investing in your confidence. But here's the piece: from a self-confidence stance and a craft confidence stance, two different things. Because if you overemphasize your craft confidence, your self-esteem and identity is going to get attached to your craft confidence. And we can't have that happen. There has to be an over-indexing on your self-confidence versus your craft confidence. But regardless, I need you to spend 5 minutes investing on your self-confidence and your craft confidence. Now, when you go to work, cool, find 5 minutes in your work schedule. Okay, I'm going to invest in 5 minutes in this area to get really, really good here. I love that. But before you give yourself to the world, I need you to go inside and say, here's 5 minutes. I've discovered this area of myself that I want to develop more of. And I'm going to spend 5 minutes here. Maybe it's growing in your emotional confidence. Maybe it's growing again in your self-esteem. Maybe it's in your identity. Maybe it's being authentic. Maybe it's in eye contact. Maybe it's in speaking. I don't know what it is, but I want you to spend 5 minutes a day making a habit. 5 minutes. Woo. And this is before you do anything else. Because if we can focus on having a habit of confidence daily dosing, what that's going to do is it's eventually going to create overflow. And that's what we want to get to, is creating overflow that allows us to continually be ourselves, get in the habit of being us, and then eventually it's just going to overflow up out of you. Okay? Remember, the confidence that's in you influences the confidence that's on you, and that confidence is then going to go beyond you. And that's exactly what we want, is for our confidence to have a positive, constructive impact on other people's lives, not just our life. The last thing is the skill. Now, Nike just, I don't say rebranded, but they reframed their slogan, just do it. Now, to know the saying, just do it, is to know it comes from Nike. And the energy behind just do it originally is attack it, get it done, make it happen. But they started to reframe this thought process because for the new generation, because anxiety is real. And a lot of people have been struggling with anxiety and failure in the act of acting and feeling like, oh my gosh, doing the thing, thinking about doing the thing and doing the thing are creating the same amount of anxiety for people. And so they reframed it in their new campaign, and where they're going to now is greatness is a choice. when I say and they say, right, greatness is a choice, it's like it's a choice to begin. And I love it. I loved the just do it originally the way that it was, but I also love the reframe because it's reframing it, but sending it right back to the same spot. You have to choose to be great. You have to choose to be confident. Confidence is not just going to happen to you. Confidence is not something that you can put on. You have to actively and intentionally choose to be confident. And that is why I want to drill the mindset that confidence is not on you, it's in you. And when it's in you, it permeates through you and it goes beyond you. That is the whole point of this. So when you reframe and think, you know what? Just do it is choosing to begin. What I'm trying to put some respect on today is the try. Nike is putting respect on try. It's, they can't change the slogan to just try it, but doing it is trying it. I remember when I was a kid, one of my dad's friends told me, try leaves room for failure. And when we're young, like people will say something to us and we'll just take it and go. And I was like, okay, don't try because try leaves room for failure. And I just took it. I never had another conversation with anybody else about it. I don't think I pushed him any further. I just remember he was like, yeah, don't try. Try leaves room for failure. And this was after one of my basketball games and I was super impressionable. And I was like, okay, cool. Now, as somebody who understands the research of the brain and doing and developing, I want to try so I can fail. And I want to be comfortable with both of those. Be comfortable and secure enough in who you are and who it is that you're trying to be and want to be, that you're secure enough to try, you're secure enough to fail because you know that the fail is just going to give you more information on how do I succeed. But the fact that you're resilient, the fact that you're confident, the fact that you have self-efficacy tells you, it just gives you more information that I'm in it to win it, baby. And I'm going to keep trying and failing and succeeding and winning and trying. And that's it. And that is the process. That is the confidence development cycle process. But if your insecurity is so tough, if your thought process is so latched on and your identity is so hooked on what is on you, if you're okay with leaving the house without your confidence, you'll never really have it. If you're okay with never investing in the confidence that starts in you, you'll never have it on you. You'll never be able to walk through this world or move through this world in a way where people are like, man, that person's energy. Because it won't be your energy. It'll just be your style. Because the second you get tested, the second you get challenged, the second you get pushed, the second you feel some type of pressure, you're not going to turn into a diamond. You're going to combust. Why? Because you didn't invest in the confidence that was in you, because you prioritized the faux confidence that was on you. So here's what I need you to do. Here's your drill that I'm going to send you away with that I need you to make sure you invest in. I need you to, number one, become aware of an area that you want to grow in your self-confidence and in your craft confidence. An area, a way that you want to grow personally and professionally. Just one. Just identify it. Just from a cognitive awareness stance. Here is an area I want to grow in. Period. Then we're going to take the reframe of just do it and you're going to try. Because choosing to try and actually doing it, you're winning. We want you to fail. I want you to stumble. I want you to trip. I want you to do it and fall down. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then get back up and be like, oh shoot, I did it. I failed and I got up. Because a wise person falls 7 times and gets back up 8, period. But you can never, if you're too afraid to get back up, if you're too afraid to fall and don't even believe that you can get back up, that very thing is preventing you from getting in more reps. If you're trying to move around the world like, watching every, make sure I don't, you're moving through the world in a way that avoids failure out of insecurity, you're never growing. You're just kind of staying the same. And that hurts my heart for you. So we're not doing that. not around these streets. That's not how we're moving. We're moving and identifying from a cognitive awareness stance what are the areas we want to grow in. And then I want you to start to see it so you can be it. I want you to see it so you can be it. We're not faking it until we make it. We're being it so we can see it. We're not faking it until we make it. We're being it so we can see it. And seeing it so we can be it. Vice versa. However you want to flip it and reverse it. Missy Elliott, it's your fan yet. However you want to do it, that's how you do it. Be it, see it, be it. And let that just be the cycle that you get caught up into. Okay? We're going to start there and we're going to keep moving. Why? Because movement is momentum and we need momentum because momentum is consistency, period. In this season of my life, I am chasing momentum and consistency, period. Whatever it looks like, whatever it comes from, I just want to move myself to be able to be consistent and not get caught up in analysis paralysis. And that's for a lot of us where we're stuck at. And we can't have that no more. Why? Because it's time for us to break free of all of that. So my hope is that you were able to get some good information out of this, that you feel encouraged, that you feel moved, that you feel motivated, you feel inspired to invest in the confidence that's in you and stop prioritizing the confidence and putting your efforts and energy on what is on you. So that way the confidence that is in you can then go beyond you. That's it, y'all. That's all I got for you today. Again, like I said, as we end out this year, we are focusing solely on addressing insecurity. The case for insecurity, man, insecurity has got to go. We have got to get secure in who we are and who it is that we were created to be, so that way we can live out our purpose with confidence. So until next time, I appreciate you. I love you. Please make sure that you like and follow, subscribe, share all those other different things in order to get this message out, because we cannot move in insecurity anymore. I appreciate you. I love you. Until next time, I'm your coach, Dr. Reese. Peace.